it's Miss Jenifer from Somerset Academy of Music, and I'm here today to do a video on the basics of ukulele. This instrument is a ukulele. So let's start with the different parts of the ukulele. So the hollow part of the instrument down here that is usually roundish in shape, although it can be more squared or angular, is called the body. Then here, where the strings attach to the body, this is called the bridge. The ukulele has 4 strings. This section is called the fretboard. These little lines on the fretboard are called frets, and that's where you're going to place your fingers at different frets to create different pitches. This is the nut up at the top of the fretboard, and then we have our tuning pegs. And this is how we change the pitch of the strings, making them higher or lower. So ukuleles come in a lot of different shapes and a few different sizes. This particular ukulele is called a tenor ukulele, and it is a little bit of a bigger one. There is one larger than this called the baritone, but it has different strings. It's tuned differently than the other ukulele. So this is the tenor, and there's one smaller than this one that's called the concert ukulele. And then this is the soprano size ukulele. You can see it's a lot smaller than the tenor. The strings are tuned the same, so you can hear that's the same pitches as on the soprano. This one just has more notes available on the fretboard, and it has just a little bit better quality of sound than the smaller instrument. Not that you can't have a good soprano, because you can have very good sounding sopranos. Just your tenors in general are going to give you a better sound and more ability to play more notes. There are a couple different ways that you can tune your ukulele. Probably the easiest and most accurate way to do it is to just purchase an electronic tuner. And these are pretty inexpensive. You can find them for probably less than $10. $10, $12, $15 probably is no more than you would want to spend. And you simply just clip it to the headstock of your instrument, turn it on, and this particular tuner is made especially for the ukulele, so it really only tunes to the pitches of the strings. You can buy or use a regular tuner that is made for a guitar or a violin, and those will work as well, but you will need to know what the pitches should be on the strings. And this one is just gonna, like as I said, it just has the pitches for the ukulele. So when I pluck the string, if I have the pitch correct, it's going to turn green, and that is a G. So that string is tuned properly. The next string should be a C. Then we have an E. And finally an A. So this instrument is in tune. So we got all the green lights there. So if you're not in tune, then you would just adjust accordingly. If it's going to be flat or sharp, you would tighten or loosen. When you do that, you want to make sure you do small movements. If you tighten the string too much, you can break it. So you want to be careful of that. Another way that you can tune it is just by ear. The ukulele is a little more complicated than tuning the guitar by ear, but it can be done. Again, you would just want to tune it to the pitches G, C, E, and A. And you could also do this by using the piano keyboard. You could find those pitches if you have a piano or a keyboard. You could find those pitches on your piano and tune them by ear that way. Now you will notice that the lowest string, the 4th string on the ukulele, is pitched higher than the 3rd string, which is unusual. Normally on most stringed instruments, they go from low to high. The ukulele does that strange little higher note, lower, higher, higher. And that's just kind of a neat thing about the ukulele. Okay, once you're ready to play your ukulele, you're going to use your left hand to press on the fretboard to get your different pitches, and you're going to use your right hand for strumming or picking. Now, how do we hold the ukulele? There's a couple different ways you can do that. Most of the time, especially if you're going to stand up, you're going to take your ukulele and tuck it in your arm like this, so that you're holding it pretty tightly, and it's mostly being held by your arm and your body here. And you're going to use it a little bit, just your hand shouldn't totally be supporting it, but the left hand is going to support it a little bit. But you don't want to hold it completely with the left hand, because you're going to be moving around the fretboard. So you want to be careful that you don't have too much of the weight of the instrument there. And the right hand can also use to support it a little bit this way, but the majority of the support should be coming from under your arm and pressing against your body. Now, if you're going to be strumming, there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can strum with your thumb, using the back of your thumb to strum down. You can use the fingernail of your first finger to strum this way. And then there are also some pretty fun, interesting, complicated strumming patterns that you can get into involving more than one finger, but that's usually something that's going to come down the line. So that is definitely not part of ukulele basics. Another way you can support your ukulele is you can also purchase a neck strap, the strap that'll go around your neck. Some ukuleles will come with a little button right here that you can hook the strap on, and then it'll either have another button here to put the other side of the strap on, or you can tie them to the headstock up here. I've also seen other neck straps where they're kind of cool, where they have a strap that goes underneath the strings that kind of surrounds the waist of the body of the ukulele. And then the final way you can hold it is you can just rest it on your lap the way you would do a guitar. That's another option. So, but if you're going to stand, you're either going to need a neck strap or hold it in this position. So in addition to strumming, you can also do plucking on the ukulele. We don't really use picks for ukulele. They don't sound that good, but we certainly can use our fingers to pluck the strings. So you can use your thumb to just individually pluck the strings. You also could use your finger. You could use a combination. So you could plant maybe one thumb and a finger on each of the strings, and you could do an arpeggio that way. Sounds pretty. So there's a couple different ways, and it's really just about what you feel comfortable with doing, and you might want to try different ways as you progress and get better at the instrument. You're going to be able to do lots of different techniques, including the fancier strumming. Okay, so for chords, we're going to be using a combination of our fingers pushing on different frets to create a chord, like this. And then we would strum using our thumb or your finger, or your thumb and your finger. You could do a combination to get a nice sound. And then when you're ready to change the chord, you're going to just change your finger to a different and strum. And strumming does, just like with everything else, it gets easier the more you do it. And the coordination between the left hand and right hand will also get easier as you do that.
Let's talk about reading music for the ukulele. I'm not going to go too in depth with how to read music, but just the specifics of how it applies differently to ukulele than other instruments. Here is a good book for beginning ukulele. It's called the Leonard Ukulele Method. There are other great books out there as well. This is just one that I actually happen to have and have used, and it is a good book. So let's take a look inside. Okay, here I've just chosen a page that just shows us a few of the notes, how you can find them on the ukulele, and a little bit about the notation. So first of all, let's look up at the top here. So this is just showing us how to play 3 different notes on the ukulele. And it does that by showing us a graph here. And this graph actually represents, if you could imagine the top portion of your ukulele here, that is showing the first top 4 frets on the ukulele. So this is showing you the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fret on the ukulele. That is what this graph is representing here. So this is showing us the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string of the ukulele, and this black dot is indicating that this is where we're going to push. On the 2nd string, we're going to push the 1st fret down. And if we push the 1st fret down on the ukulele and pluck that string, that is going to give us the F sound. So that would be like this. So that would be like this. It would be taking my finger and pushing on this fret like that. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. You want to get as close to the fret as possible without being on top of it or too far back. You're going to get a better sound next to the fret, but not on top of it. That is the F sound. Okay? And in the next picture here, it shows us again on the 2nd string. If we push down on the 3rd fret, that's right here, 1, 2, 3, that is going to give us the note G. So we've got F, G. Okay? All right. Then we have this graph here actually shows us it has a little circle above the 2nd string, and that is showing us that if we just pluck the 2nd string without pushing any of the frets down, that note is going to be an E. So that's how those graphs work. Okay, so now if we look down here, we actually have actual music notated out for us. And there's two different ways. It has the same music notated here in two different ways. So on top here, it has just your standard treble clef staff, and the notes are written in just traditional notation. So if you're familiar with how to read notes on the treble staff, that should make perfect sense to you. Then underneath it, we have what's called tablature. And this, if you play guitar, you're going to be familiar with this. If not, then now you get to learn to play it. It's abbreviated and also called just tab. And what it is again, it is a representation of your fretboard. This time, it's this way. So you want to think of this, it shows 4 lines that represent the 4 strings. So 1, 2, 3, 4 strings are represented by 1, 2, 3, 4 on the graph. Now, how this works is you notice that there are different numbers on some of the strings. So this is showing us when it has a 0, that means you're going to play that string, it's marked the 2nd string, open. So you're going to play that string without pushing any of the frets down. And then the next one, it shows you that you're going to press down like we did before on the 1st fret and play that string to create the F. And then here it says the number 3, so we're going to push on the 3rd fret to create that note. So this is just in real time here showing you the notes that you're going to play. So you're going to be playing open, 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 open. 1st fret, 1st fret, 1st fret, 1st fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, and so on like that. So that's tab, and that is how you read that. Okay, so here I've turned to another page in the book that has an entire song, and again, it has the traditional notation that you could read, or it shows what those notes would look like if played on the ukulele's fretboard, represented by the tab. So that's down here. The other thing that this particular piece of music shows, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so you can make sure you see them, is that above some of the measures, we have, these are chord symbols. So here it says D7, and here we have G7 and C. So that is another way that you could read music when playing the ukulele. So you have the choice of either you can play the melody as it's written, or you can strum the chords. You would want to strum these chords on the ukulele, and this will be something that you could do if you're going to sing the song. You could sing the song and play the melody as well, but often it sounds really nice if you can strum the chords while you play. So that's another thing that ukulele music will show you. So this really has 3 different types of music notation going on in the one page. So if you want to play chords, you are going to, you can look those up on the internet. A lot of websites will have chords. There's apps you can get for your phone or iPad or tablet that actually will show you the different chords. And oftentimes if you do get a beginner ukulele book, it's going to have a chart that shows you the different chords. And we have, again, the same little graphic here showing us our 4 strings and the black dots showing us which frets we're going to push down to create those chords. So in order to make the different chords, some of the ukulele chords are really easy, which is why some people like to play them. So to create a C chord, now you wouldn't press it with your thumb, but I'm just doing this here. I'll switch to a different finger. So to play the C major chord, all you have to do is push the 3rd fret down, and then you're going to strum all those strings, and that creates the C major chord. So that's pretty easy. Now some of the other chords do get a little more complicated, like if you take a look here at E minor, you're going to be using, you're pushing down on 4 different frets. Sometimes instead of just pushing 1 fret down, you can do something that's called a barre chord, and this is again something they do in guitar as well, in which you're going to take your finger and lay it across the entire fret or part of the fret. So instead of just pushing down 1 fret at a time, you could push multiple frets down with 1 finger. And you're going to see that's going to happen if you look at this E chord here. You can see we have 3 dots in a row. So instead of trying to place, 3 fingers individually on each of the strings, just using 1 finger all the way across would be much easier to do. So there you go. That's just some really general information, just some basic ideas about the ukulele. So I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.